Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and I'm back from vacation. I couldn't wait to get back here and get back to making another video of the ultimate top 100 board games, the ones that I think are the ultimate top 100. And I had a great visit up in Ohio with my daughter and her family. We missed them so much, and it was always wonderful to see your family, isn't it? We're back, and we got there safe, we got home safe, and had a good time. But let's get to the top 100. And please, I want to tell everyone, if you would, go back and watch my 100 to 91 video if you haven't done that, because I explained to you exactly how I compiled this list so that you have a better understanding about the criteria that I used. So yeah, hey, I'm not going to talk anymore. We're going to get right to the games. That's why you're here. That's why you tuned in. Let's start with number 90, Railroad Revolution. I got my notes here. I know a lot of the other guys use iPads and phones, but I'm over those things. Railroad Revolution. It came out in 2016, 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes to 60 minutes. The designers are Marco Canetta and Stefania Nicolini. And this is a train game. It was published by What's Your Game. And I had a couple other games by What's Your Game. I think Zanguao and Signore. I think those are the two other ones we had, and I liked both of those games too. Zanguao was very deep and wonderful, and Signore we liked also. But we liked this one better than those out of the three, and so this is the one we kept. And in Railroad Revolution, that's exactly what you're going to be doing, taking part in the Railroad Revolution of the United States and expanding your railroad through cities across the United States and expanding the telegraph. And you're doing those things with a mechanic using different colored little meeple workers. At each color, depending on what color that meeple is, that's what action you're going to be taking. And it's wonderful. You have 3 tech tracks on the side of the board that you cannot ignore. They give you multipliers for things like how far you get on the telegraph and things of that nature. So those 3 tracks you can't ignore when you play this game, or you won't do very well, because I ignored them once and got slaughtered. That's how I know. But yeah, so that's Railroad Revolution. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. Again, it's on my top 100. I don't care where it is in the top 100. It is amazing. I love it. Railroad Revolution. Number 89, Manhattan Project Energy Empire. And this is designed by Luke Laurie and Tom Jolly. Luke Laurie, of course, is the guy that just put out Eldervale last year, and it's insanely popular right now, very hot. And we've played that for a while and moved that game on, but we love this game. And this game would be much higher on Lori's list. She's in love with this game. And don't confuse it. There is a game called Manhattan Project, I think. This is Manhattan Project Energy Empire. So that's the game you want to get your hands on. And in it, you're just trying to be the best world power and get your country to the one that's controls the energy on the planet without polluting. And it's a wonderful worker placement game where you place your workers out on the board and then you take them back, just like an Eldervale. Also, it has some beautiful engraved dice, and I will say this is jaw-dropping production by Minion Games. Very nice. The dice are beautiful. I mean, like oil barrels and stuff are metal, and it's really, really a sharply produced game. And let's see, it came out in 2016, 1 to 5 players, so it's got a solo variant in it, and 60 minutes. And all these games that are on my Ultimate Top 100 are going to play in 60 minutes or less. So yeah, Manhattan Project Energy Empire, it's amazing. All right, game number 88. Rialto by Stefan Feld, came out in 2013, 2 to 5 players. Again, 45 to 60 minutes. And in this game, you're in Vienna and you use a hand management mechanism in this game to drive everything that you do. And in a 2-player game, for instance, you're going to have 3 rows of 6 cards on the table, and the first player is going to select from one of those 3 columns of cards. And the cards are all different. They all do different actions. So you have to look at those and say, what do I want to do this round? Which column of cards would best suit what I want to do? So you choose one if you're the first player. The second player in a 2-player game chooses one of the 2 leftover columns, and that's what drives your game. And you're going to be building in this game and doing a little bit of an engine builder on your player board, and it's a blast. By the best board game designer in the world, Stefan Feld. I love this game. The only thing is, this game's tough to get, I believe, right now. Very tough to get. Yeah, it's a wonderful game. I love it. Rialto by Stefan Feld. All right, number 87, a classic. Orleans by Rainer Stockhausen. Orleans came out in 2014, 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes, and simply in this game, it's medieval times, and you're going to be trying to recruit followers represented by different discs, and those discs are going to be put into a bag, and you're going to draw those out of the bag and put them to work in the game on the board. And the reason that's so crazy is because you don't know what you're going to draw out of the bag. Rainer also did a game called Altiplano. It's a very good game, by the way. We played it a lot and we moved it on. But Altiplano, in that game, you will use all your workers. You draw them all out. Eventually, you'll see them all. In Orleans, not the case. You draw out whatever you get, and the round may end before you use all of those workers that you have in the bag, and you don't know which ones you're going to pull out. And that's a freaky thing. And I like that. It's a little bit of randomness. I mean, you have a lot of control in this game, don't get me wrong, but that little bit of randomness where you pull those out of the bag, I really like that. I like a little bit of randomness in the games. If a game has zero randomness, I don't really care for that, but a little bit, I really enjoy, because it might give you an edge over someone that's smarter than you, and you may luck out and win and do very well for yourself. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Orleans is a classic. Lori has tricked this game out. It weighs a ton. When we find a game that we're going to keep forever, and Orleans is one of those, she gets the deluxe components. She loves to do that and puts them in the box, and there's some cool stuff in here. So yeah, it's Orleans. I had to tell you that. She's kind of weird in that way. All right, number 86. Santa Maria. Santa Maria by Christian Otsby and Eilif Svensson. Came out in 2017. It has a solo variant, so it plays 1 to 4, 45 minutes, and this is dice drafting. And the reason why it's so different in the dice drafting mechanism and tile laying that you use is you're going to activate buildings that you've laid down on your player board, and those value dice that you draft are going to activate columns for the white dice and rows when you use the blue dice. And that's pretty sweet. It's kind of different, and I really, really like that. This is a wonderful game. Again, it came out in 2017. The first time I played it, I fell in love with it, and obviously it's in my top 100. It's an amazing, amazing experience. If you like dice drafting, this is a great one. Santa Maria. All right, let's move on to number 85. Fresco. Yeah, Fresco. Came out in 2010. It was designed by Marco Ruskowski and Marcel Subelbeck. You know, I'm not going to pretend to know those guys, but they did an amazing job with this game. 2 to 4 players. You can play it in an hour. And it does have a beautiful 2-player variant where you use, I can never remember what the guy's name is. I think it's Raphael. But to begin the round, you have to take your painter guy or whatever, and you put him on the time track of what time you want to get up. Well, the earlier you get up, the earlier you go in the round, but there's a price to be paid, so you have to kind of watch that. But yeah, Raphael, you take him and put him, I think you take turns placing him, and sometimes you can block the other player a little bit. Not a lot, but that's fun to do that. Fresco came out in 2010. It was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. I think that was the year that Dixit, I had to look it up, Dixit won the Spiel des Jahres, which is a wonderful game. It is in our 150 game library, not in my top 100. It would be in Lori's though, because it's a wonderful game, but it doesn't play well at 2. Does it play at all at 2?
No.
Okay, you can't play it at 2, so you have to have 3 or more, but we keep it on hand because my grandkids love it, and when new gamers come over to your house, Dixit's marvelous. But this is an amazing game. In Fresco, you're going to be mixing paints, different color paints, and try to get the combinations needed to take a tile off the board and start to reveal that fresco that's on the cathedral ceiling. Also on your player board, there's a blind bidding mechanism that's very tense where you put your little workers and you get to take that action in order of how many you put in that particular column. And so you have to ask yourself so many times, what are they going to do? What do they need? I wish I had clairvoyance so I could understand what they're up to so that I could place my workers where I want them. But you do the best you can, and it's very tense, and that's what makes board games like this wonderful. It's an excellent game. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but folks, I'm telling you, you play this one time and you'll play it over and over and over again because it's outstanding. A great design by these two guys. So Fresco, yeah, by Queen Games. Number 84 is Village by Inca and Marcus Brand. And I got 2 more games by Inca and Marcus Brand on this top 100. They are very good board game designers. I love this game. 2011 it came out, and in this game, time is the currency. And you have a family of villagers, and you're going to put them to work in different places on the board, farms and so forth. And because of the time currency, they're going to pass away, which is cool. I mean, that is creative stuff. I always reward people who put creative themes and mechanics in their games. And you have to choose which one of those villagers is going to die. And you're going to put him in the Village Chronicle, and you score points to do that. So he's going to go in the cemetery, which is the Village Chronicle, and that's very, very cool. I really love that. And you're trying to become the most prominent family, and it's a wonderful game, published by Stronghold. Amazing Village. All right, number 83 came out in 2020. Bonfire by Stefan Feld. It took me a little while to love this game. Bonfire is one that I don't really care for the theme. It's kind of a fantasy. The bonfires have gone out, the magical bonfires, and your gnomes trying to get those bonfires relit so that your magical world can blossom again. And in it, you have a player board that's the top of the tower where you're trying to relight those bonfires. And you have action tiles that you use, an action tile mechanic. On your player board, you have little tiles you're going to place on your player board that are going to give you action tiles that you're going to use on the main board. So it sounds complicated, and there's a lot going on in this game. As per one of Stefan Feld's heavier games, it's up there with Bora Bora, which is very good also. But again, Lori and I have played this game. We played it 3 times not that long ago, and we've played it maybe a total of 5 or 6 times, and I'm still finding out the depth and complexities of Bonfire, and I'm in love with it. It's a wonderful game. Yeah, Bonfire by Stefan Feld. It's an outstanding game. Okay, number 82, La Granja by Andreas Odendahl and Michael Keller. Came out in 2014, has a solo variant, 1 to 4 players, play it in an hour. This game's pretty complex too. And in this game, it has a dice drafting mechanism that you're going to use, and it also has multi-use cards used, wow, in amazing ways. And you have a player board that you're going to use, and every card that you take has 4 different ways you can play it on your player board. You can play it so you're using the top or the bottom of the card, or the left side or the right side of the card, and you have to choose. And man, I tell you, sometimes you'll just sit there, the sweat will come down your forehead. Which way do I want to use this card? Do I need a wheelbarrow? Do I need to expand my farm? Do I need the special power at the bottom? And you just go over those options constantly in your head, trying to figure out how best to do that. And once you fill up one of your wheelbarrows at the top of your player board, you're going to put a market stall on the main game board and score points. And the person with the most points is going to win this game. Published by Stronghold Games. Dice drafting and multi-use cards again, and both of those mechanics I love, and this game is amazing, folks. La Granja. All right, last one, number 81, Trajan by Stefan Feld. This Trajan came out in 2011, and gosh, this is just an excellent, excellent board game. I don't think it's quite as heavy as Bonfire. It uses a Mancala mechanism that drives everything in the game, and just working that Mancala at peak efficiency is the challenge. And just to give you an example, we played this game 3 times in a row, like day before yesterday or day before that or something. And in the last game, I had a 9-point tile that I needed. I had 3 turns to work that Mancala and get those color hexes in the proper dish. And I got the colors I needed for the tile, but you have to activate it by ending your turn on that particular dish. And the way you do that is picking up those hexes out of the dish, every one that's in the dish, and you drop them off one at a time as you go, and wherever the last one is dropped, that's the action you're going to take. I could not get it done. I was so frustrated and never did activate that action and get that 9-point Trajan tile. So that was really frustrating, but it was a beautiful kind of frustration, and that's the beauty of this game. And also on the board, it has a time track, and it's really nice. The publishers put the time track for 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players, depending on how many people are in the game. And on that time track, if you pick up in your Mancala, let's say you pick up 4 hexes out of the dish has 4 hexes, and you got to pick them all up. And you're going to drop them off one at a time. Well, you have to move that time marker on that track 4 spaces. So time moves on faster than you want it to, and I guarantee you're going to want to take an action, and your opponent is going to have like 6 or 7 hexes in one of their dishes. Pick them up and drive that time marker all the way around and in the round, and it'll just drive you crazy. But man, that's the beauty of this game, Trajan, and I love the theme of it. Ancient Rome, so cool. Came out in 2011, I think I told you that, and yeah, one of Stefan Feld's best. I'm in love with it. It's in my Ultimate Top 100 games, but I have some more up the list farther that are a little easier to play. And Trajan has been re-released, and it doesn't look like this. I think it's got a white box cover now, and so you should be able to find a copy of this game. It's worth it, folks. It's one of the best games ever made, Trajan. All right, that is it. That is the next 10 of my Ultimate Top 100 list. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you seek some of these games out and play them. The 20 that I've given you, I'm telling you what, I could take those 20 games and be so very happy and playing those games for the rest of my life. Now, the 10 games that were on this list and the 10 games before that, those are pretty complex games, medium and maybe a little bit heavier. And they're not the type of games you're going to set up and start rolling dice and say, okay, I'm buying Park Place. These games don't work like that. The first 20 game boxes that I've shown you are medium to medium heavy in complexity, and so I want you to consider that and remember that when you're looking for these games. But they're lovely and they're worth the effort. I hope you had fun watching this, and I'll see you next time on The Bones Collector. Make sure you like and subscribe. Keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet. Bye-bye.